Hey guys, I wanted to drop this quick video to talk about something that is super important for pretty much anybody. It can help you in your business, it can help you in your relationships, basically anywhere where you feel stagnant. And I'm going to make it real quick and real simple. So, if you are thinking of um, creating a change in your life, and for some reason it's just not happening. For some reason, you find yourself in the same cycle, same spiral, same dynamic, whether it's a relationship. So, for example, let's say you are wanting to find a life partner, but no matter how hard you try, you only get so deep, or you're attracting superficial partners and you can't create that deep connection that you're looking for. Or let's say you're in business and you are hitting a wall for one reason or another. You're just keep creating the same kind of dynamics. So I want you to take a look at it from this perspective, that if you are stagnant and you're not creating what you really want, there's multiple levels in which this block is taking place. So one thing is, we often believe that in order to get to that lasting change, we have to kind of force ourselves. Like, if you want to get to making more money, you have to force yourself to break through that limitation. But what I would say is, if you're not getting what you want, consider that there's an aspect of yourself that is trying to hold you back and protect you. That if it's not actually happening for you, that means that a part of you is believing that getting there might actually be harmful to you. Now, these are outdated beliefs. Maybe there's trauma involved. Maybe there's just lack of information. But consider this. And this is real basic and simple. And there's potentially requires maybe go a little bit deeper. But starting point is really, really important. And for example, finding that part of your life that you want to create change, and consider that if you were to actually achieve it, right? And you can do it now. Just imagine closing your eyes and taking a breath. And because I do work somatically, so meaning I use the body with my clients to help them overcome these things, because these limitations there are physical. You can physically feel what might be happening. So, for example, if let's say you want to cultivate a loving, lasting relationship, right? And you imagine having achieved that and just breathing into that experience. And then noticing if there's a contraction, in your body, if there's a fear that shows up, maybe there's a knot in your belly, maybe there's a tightness in your chest. And the mind often wants to hijack the experience. So just to breathe into the physical sensation. And as you're breathing into the physical sensation, maybe you have a curiosity around what fear might be there. What story are you experiencing as you're imagining yourself achieving this goal? And something that might show up, for example, is that if you connect with achieving this desire that you have, let's say an example of having this lasting relationship, maybe there's a belief that you will lose your freedom. Maybe there's a belief that you'll be trapped. Maybe there's a belief that that you will sabotage it, or you'll be rejected. That maybe you believe that you'll have to always try to maintain it, and it's going to be too hard, right? So it's all very specific to each person. And then just take a moment and feel how familiar that is. You might be surprised to recognize that maybe uh, it's a story from your past in some way. And to start off, I want you to consider that there's a part of you that's preventing you from reaching your goal because it has a need, right? Maybe if you had a conversation with a part of you that doesn't trust, that is scared, and maybe even imagine the age where this was created, and noticing what was missing from that experience that you needed in order to feel safe, in order to feel secure, in order to feel seen. And perhaps you can start by having this dialogue with that part of yourself. Perhaps having a dialogue between the part of you that wants, let's say in this example, a relationship, and the part of you that doesn't. And the part of you that doesn't really needs some specific things in order to allow you essentially to achieve that. And so I'll give you a quick example from my own life recently is that I noticed myself sabotaging in my business, in my practice, not putting myself out there, not really building my practice. And when I sat with myself, with that part of myself, and I asked it, like, what's happening? What is it that you are afraid of? And what I got was that if I had a busy, booming practice, if I had a lot of clients who were consistent and working with me, I would not have enough time for myself. And then, as I said, a little bit longer with that feeling, the memory that came to me was that my parents would not have a lot of time for me or pay attention to my needs, or especially my mom worked a lot. I hardly ever saw her. And so this belief that if I had a business that was booming and that I would be so busy that there'd be no time for myself. There would be no time for fun. There would be no time for me to spend time with myself. Essentially, I would be sacrificing myself for work. And so naturally, this part of me would prevent me from growing my business out of this fear that I will not have time for myself. And so what I decided to do is, when I had this conversation with this younger aspect of myself, is I made myself a promise that no matter how full my schedule is, no matter how many people I'm working with, that when I felt the desire to travel or do something fun or go on some adventure, that I would block off my schedule for a week, maybe even 2 weeks, and I would give myself that space to explore. And this belief that I'm not allowed to block my schedule, I'm not allowed to tell my clients that I'm not available for a week, that I'm going on vacation, I'm going for a trip, that somehow I'll be missing out on either missing out on my work, or letting my clients down, and so I had to kind of work through those negative and limiting belief systems, and recognize that no, if I have a client that I'm seeing every week, that week that I take off and tell them that I'm skipping a week of sessions because I have a trip coming up, that's completely normal. In fact, it's actually really good because my clients would get a chance to see what it's like to support themselves, let's say, for that week, or it's not a big deal. But that younger part of myself had this black and white thinking. And so now that I made this deal with myself, that I am willing to block off my schedule and actually do the fun things that I wanted to do. That just because my business is booming and I have a lot of clients does not mean that I'm going to neglect myself. And so now that part of me that's been holding back, defending my growth of my business, preventing it from growing, is now more relaxed because it's part of me is seen. And I did have to feel some feelings, some sadness around the fact that that my mother in this case, she was so busy with work and so scared and worried, and of course experienced the challenges of what needing to do what she needed to do, and actually missed on some of those needs or that desire for me to spend time with her, for example, and kind of just give my inner child that reassurance that yes, those feelings were valid, and they are valid, that those needs are real, and just because it happened in some level when I was younger does not mean that I'm going to keep doing that to myself. And because now I see it and I hear it, my needs, and then I'm listening, and I'm also taking action steps. So making plans for myself, and so now it's important to take action steps, right? Because part of it is understanding consciousness, bringing awareness, and then also the action step is for my business is putting myself out there, which this video is in a way of my action step of saying that yes, I am available. I work with people. I'm open to connect and see if working with those that resonate with the work that I do, and at the same time I am also taking action steps to plan trips with myself, and also acknowledging that I'm already doing that in a lot of ways. So in this way, I'm freeing the energy that's been stuck, that's been holding me back, that's been sabotaging my growth, out of this fear and these limiting beliefs that really have been kind of hijacking my progress in my practice. And of course, the element of personal responsibility, which means that I am the one who is responsible of taking the action steps and creating the space for those needs to be realized. So in your own life, my challenge to you is to take a look where you feel limited, whether it's in your health, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your career, your finances, and then look at where there's a confrontation, there's conflict between different aspects, where a part of you is trying to push forward and a part of you is holding back. And perhaps take a moment and listen to what's needed, and also what's being trapped in that space of those beliefs, that if you give yourself what you're saying that you want, what is this belief of what you're kind of protecting, if you allow yourself to have the success that you're looking for. So if this resonates with you, give it a shot. And if you want to work on a specific issue, or you would like to kind of explore this a little deeper, I invite you to book a consult call. It's a free call just to see, you kind of brainstorm about the particular issue you might be having, and see if we're a good fit. And I'm happy to give you some of my feedback and kind of see how you can move forward. So I hope you find this helpful, and I look forward to connecting with you. Take care.